Morning, everyone. Today is Monday. It is the 18th day of Menachem Av. And we continue letter 5 in the Igeret Hakodesh, in the Tanya. And we're talking about making God's name. As you remember, that was the question in the beginning of the letter. It says that King David, Vayas David Shem, the Zohar says King David literally made God's name. And that was the question, what does it mean making God's name? And Rabbi Shimon says he cried, and it says that who makes God's name? The one who gives tzedakah. And that was the letter based on this. And he went on to explaining what does it mean making God's name. So he went into a whole explanation of what is God's name. The name of Hashem, the Yud, the Hey, the Vav, and the Hey, that created the world. And we quoted the verse that says, Ki be Yud Kei Hashem Tzur Elamim, God created the worlds with the Yud and the Hey. Spoke about it yesterday, that Yud, Hashem created the world to come, and with the Hey, Hashem created this world. And then we went on and explaining what does it mean. After all, the world to come also has, we explained that what the Yud represents the Chachma, the wisdom. The Hey represents the Bina, the understanding, the development. Then there is the Vav, which represents the emotions. And the Hey represents Malchus, represents speech. And we explained that in the higher spiritual worlds, the Yud shines there, is manifest in the higher worlds, meaning that they appreciate the Chachma, the wisdom, and in this world is created with the Hey because this world has only the external part of it. And that's what the Alter Rebbe continues to explain today. As you remember, we explained that we gave the metaphor of speech. Speech has you have the internal part, the body of the letters, and you have the soul of the letters. So just like a child will go into in a university, sitting in a class, and the professor is talking about deep concept of math, complicated problems, the child will hear the words, but he's not going to hear the soul, the depth behind the words, what lies in the words, what the words carry. So too, it says Hashem created the entire world with the letters. The letters served as the source of every creature in the world. And we spoke about it yesterday. You have the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. And they are the source of every single creature in this world. Because the Hebrew letters are not just made up letters by someone, it is godly letters, and each letter represents a source of energy. And when you combine them, there is endless ways of combining the letters, and each combination creates a different creation. This is the story we mentioned a number of times, what it says in the Medrash, when God created the world, He created Adam. And the Malachim, the angel says, what is this? Who is Adam? Who is this man? What is this doing here? And then God says, he's wiser than you are. And he's smarter than you. And he says, I'm going to test you and I'm going to show it to you. And he offered the Malachim, the angels, to name the creatures in the world, the animals, things, and they couldn't. And then he said to Adam, go ahead, name the animals. And that's what the Torah says, that Adam named each and every animal. Or you can ask the question, what's the big deal of naming the animal? My granddaughter, she has the dollies, and every dolly has a different name. She named them. What's the big deal of naming? But of course, when we understand what it means, a name of something, that the name of an animal is the Hebrew letters, is the root and the source of the energy that gives life for this particular creature. So the Malachim didn't know it. Adam knew it, and Adam named it. They knew exactly the energy that each creature has. But how did Adam know this information? It's just like God revealed to him more information. It's not just that. It is because Adam himself is rooted so deeply in God's essence that he is able to see the creatures the way it's in its roots, in its source. And this is the beauty that Hashem created this physical world, and he put us in this world, and we, through our service of Hashem, we're able to draw the deepest levels of the essence of Hashem down into this physical world. But by us, humans, it is concealed. We don't see it, we don't sense it. The way it is in the revealed way, in the spiritual worlds, the malachim, the neshama, the angels, the souls, they are able to see the inner, the soul of the letters. They're able to see the godliness in everything. Even the sun and the moon. The sun goes from the east to west. It's not just a mechanical thing that moves. It is a recognition in the godliness that is in the west, as it says, and it bows down to Hashem. So all of this being, the spiritual beings, they have more of a access of understanding to the godliness of the world. They're able to see the dibur, the pnimiyut dibur, the inner part of the word, of the letters. And that is why they receive a much higher revelation. But in this physical world, Hashem created with the external part of the speech. And we explain what is the external part of the speech is the shape of the letters, and the root of the letters, of the external part of the letters, is the letter Hey. The letter Hey is the breath. And the breath is the source of all the 22 letters. Because every letter, it is in one way, it does not have any action to it. It's called Asa Klile, a very light letter. It doesn't have any action. The letter Bet, you have to move your lips. The letter Hey is the breath. As soon as you're born, you have that. To speak words, it takes time until the child develops the ability to speak. But the Hey is the root of all of these letters. And this is the Alter Rebbe. This is what it means. Hashem created this world with the external part of the Dibur. So that's it, continues explaining in today's lesson. Let's see inside. Says the Alter Rebbe, now this lowly world, however, with the life force that is found within it, this is too small to contain and endure the light and life force that proceed from the form and inwardness of the letters. Like we said in the example, the inwardness of the letters is the message that a message that words carry. E equals MC squared. Those are letters, those are words. Does it mean anything to you? Some people it means. A child, does it mean anything when it sees it? No. There is a message, a deeper message that carries these words. And here, the letters, the higher spiritual world receives the message. in this low world is too small to contain and endure this great light. This lowly world is too small for this light and life force to be able to radiate and diffusing it without any garment or concealment. As they radiate and diffuse to the souls and the angels, which receive the radiance from the inwardness of the letters, without the garments and concealment of the matter and the body of the letters, which consists of the breath. Again, the breath is the body of the letters, the source of the body of the letters. Instead, the radiance and diffusion comes and flows into this world from the matter, the body, and the externality of the letters. External part of the letters, which is what? Which is the breath. Shehu b'chinas hahevel, this is called breath. Just as the body or external aspect of the letter of man's speech derives from the physical breath, the letter Hey. And this breath, says the Alter Rebbe, mischalek lezayin havolim shebekoyeles shealeim oilam oimed kemeshikosu b'zeir HaKodesh. And it divides into 7 breaths of the second verse of the Ecclesiastes, on which the world stands as thought in the Holy Zohar. Look in the Ecclesiastes, it says, right? Hakoil havolim oma koyeles, hakoil havolim havel havolim akol havel. Which is vanity of vanities, said Koheles. Vanity of vanities is all is vanity. So we have over here 7 vanities. Havel is 1. Vanities itself is plural, which is 2. Together it's 3. And it says again, vanity of vanities, it's another 3. 1 and 2 is another 3, that's 6. All is vanity, altogether is 7. So this is 7 vanities that King Solomon says in Ecclesiastes. The word Hevel means vanity, emptiness, nothingness, but also means breath. The Hevel means also the breath. So he's talking about the breath as the source of the letters. And the breath, he says, this is the 7 breaths. As the Zohar says, this is this foundation that the world stands on. The world exists only by virtue of the 7 breaths uttered by King Solomon. Vehu moitza pi Hashem hamislabesh ba'olam hazeh v'chol tzvom l'chayesam. This is the utterance that issues forth from God's mouth, meaning this is the letter Hey. The letter Hey, the last Hey of the Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is vested in this world and all its hosts to animate them. And in this utterance is vested the form of the letters of speech and thoughts emanating from his holy attributes and his will and wisdom and so on. In other words, in the external way, in the revealed way, we see only the breath, we see only the externality. But within it, it is concealed the form of the letters, the inner part, the thoughts, the speech, and the emotions, the holy emotion, which is all united with Hashem. Which are utterly incorporated in the blessed Ein Sof. And based on this understanding, the Alter Rebbe now quotes Well, the Arizal says, Rabbi Yitzchak Luria, the famous Kabbalist, he made a statement that sounds very Kabbalistic and very beyond understanding, but Alter Rebbe, based on what we explained, we can get some kind of understanding in this statement. What does the Arizal say? He says, "V'zer shama Arizal zichrono levacha, shebchinas chitzonius hakelim de malchus de atzilus, amerumozo is behei shel shem havaya baruch hu, heim yod v'nasa l'shama la'olam asiyah." The Arizal says that the external part of the vessels of Malchus of Atzilus, which is indicated, alluded by the Hey of the name of Avaya, the Yud Kevavke, they descended and became the soul of the world of Atzilus. What is he talking about? Excuse me. So, as we said, the world of Atzilus is the highest of the four spiritual worlds. This is the most spiritual world where God manifested. Atzilus is from the word emanation. God emanated Atzilus. In Atzilus, in this world, there is the different levels. There's the 10 attributes, but there everything is godly, and is also connected with the name Yud Kei Vav Kei, the four-letter name of Hashem. So the Yud represents again the Chachma of Atzilus, the wisdom of Atzilus. The Hey represents the Bina, the understanding of Atzilus. The Vav represents the Midas, the emotive attributes of Atzilus, and the Hey represents the Malchus, the kingdom, which is the royalty, which royalty represents something which is connecting to the outside. You cannot be a king unless you have a people. So the kingdom represents being giving to the outside, and that is why it is also compared to speech. Speech is also you speak to someone outside of you. However, within the Kalim, within these attributes, they have the internal part and they have the external part. Just like we said in the speech, you have the internal part of the letters and you have the external part of the letters. Internal part is the message, what the letter carries. The external part is the shape, the physical letter. And although, as we mentioned 2 days ago, that even the physical letter also comes from the subconscious. That is why your lips move automatically, as if it automatically. When you want to say something, you move your lips in a certain direction. You want to say the letter Aleph, you move this way. And you want to say the different letter. Every letter, the lips and the different palates, the different tools of articulations are automatically done by the will of the soul. But yet they are still the external part of the letter. So the external part of the letter of the Malchus of Atzilus, the speech of Atzilus, they become the soul of the world of Asiya, which is the lowest world. So that means that our world receives, in a manifested way, the external part of Atzilus, which is the Hey, the last Hey of the name Avaya, which represents the Malchus of Atzilus. So again, Arizal, the Malchus, the Atzilus. This is what the Rabbi Yitzchak Luria of blessed memory stated, that the external aspect of the vessels of the sphere of Malchus of the world of Atzilus. Again, sphere of Malchus is the lowest of the 10 levels of the world of Atzilus. Atzilus is the highest of the 4 worlds. These external aspects being alluded to by the letter Hey of the 4-letter name of God, descended and became the soul for the world of Asiya, which is the last world, the lowest world. It is likewise stated in the Tikkunim, Shayud hu ba'atzilus chulu, v'hei tato mekanenes b'asiyeh. It's a similar thing. It is alluded. It is written stated in the Tikkunim in the Zohar that the Yud is in the world of Atzilus. The upper Hey in the world of Beriah, the Vav in the world of Yetzirah, and the letter Hey, the lower Hey, nests in the world of Asiya. So this is the end of today's class. We still didn't get the answer to what does it mean that we make God's name, but we are getting there. Hopefully tomorrow we're going to get to that answer. But what he's saying is explaining and describing as much as possible what it means God's name. That God's name is the source and root of everything. In the higher world, the lower world, you have the inner part, the soul, which is manifested in the higher world, and the body of the letters comes down into this world. And yet in this world is also connected, as we said, bypasses and connected with the highest level of Chachma. So if this is confusing, come back tomorrow, we'll make more, try to clarify it a little bit more. Be'ezrat Hashem, thank you for joining. Any questions we can take now?